Peace and love, babe. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in to all of our lovelies who are catching the replay. Welcome in to all of our lovelies who are connecting with us live. Welcome in, y'all. Hey. Hey. Peace and love, peace and wellness. Tell me something good. Tell me something good. Tell me something good. No, no. Tell me that you love me. Yeah. Welcome in. Hey, Miss Marion. I am him. Ray Bay. Hey. Let's go ahead and start because I'm ready. The artist, where you been? The motherfucking smartest. I don't know. You know, I was about to rhyme. I was about to say, Smelly who farted. I'm so corny. Hey, Jasmine. I thought about you like 2 days ago. How are you? Peace, Mystique. Thanks, baby boo. Welcome into the Crystaline Mars stream, 918. Know what I mean? I am Madame Double Jones, the lady with the stones, the come here's and the leave us alone. And I'm a spiritual guide to assist you in this life. So if you are seeking any spiritual guidance, if you would like a helping hand, head over to the website, crystalinemars.com, to book your one-on-one services. And there you can shop our spiritual, our spiritual, see, I did the most. Our spiritual tools, gems, jewels, and services. Don't forget, you'll get free shipping for all U.S. orders over $75. Gratitude truly for all of you, Lee, to all of you, Lee, who exchange energy in every way that you do, whether it's liking the live, exchanging energy in the comments, your cash apps, your financial donations. Y'all been coming through with the baby registry. Thank you so freaking much. I appreciate it. If you would like to gift us, and assist us with welcoming in our baby boo, our baby boo, and just a few. We do have the registry link down below. Thank you, though, to all of you who have shown up. The ancestors definitely came through y'all today, and I appreciate it. Thank you again. Thank you. And if you would like a reading tonight, y'all can send y'all love offerings in through Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, Apple Pay. I do not have any lovelies in queue, so we can start with you, baby boo. So let's go ahead and get into the message of the moment. Ray Bay said, laugh out loud, started singing that same song. What song? I was on TikTok a few times. Oh, okay, babe. Peace and love. I am feeling well. Thank you for asking. So this is a follow-up. This is a continuation from last night's message, which was last night. The message was, your ancestors will be gifting you no later than 8/29. Job well done. And remember, we talked about how 8/29 adds up to 11. 29 may be significant for somebody, but today is that 29 energy because it is the 11th, right? So I was talking about how the window is opening today, right? A breath of fresh air with this 8/29, 8/11 energy. And there's going to be gift-bearing energy throughout this period of these upcoming weeks. We talked about Friday, next Friday, and Friday after next. That leads up to the 29th. So tonight, this present moment's message is, you've served your time. Your ancestor says you are free from jail. You have served your time. The ancestors, your ancestors said you are freed from jail. I pulled out our cards for today, and the cards that came out was the electric issue. So there could have been some stagnant energy, some resistance. It could have been really dark because with this electric issues, it's like lights out. So some of us are in a very dark space, and it could just be the unknown, right? It could be the lowest that you've ever been. It could be emotionally. It could be spiritually, physically, financially, all the fucking above, bitch. Because we are on episode 497, right? And that 4 we talked about is that transcendence, those unexpected shifts, those breakdowns of old paradigms. That 9 in the center representing that we are literally in the midst of transformation, endings, and transitions and things like that. And 7 represents endings as well. 7 represents endings as well, but it has to do with spiritual, all things spiritual. Okay, so adding that up, that adds up to 20. That 2 represents flow and ease. Flow and ease. That's a feminine energy, 2, and the 0 is feminine energy as well. So there could have been some static, like I said, some darkness. You could just be in the dark when it comes to just spiritually knowing what's ahead, or maybe there is some dark energy that we have been freaking fighting. Rather it's our own sabotaging thoughts, rather it's external things that people have told us that we have been taking on as our truth, right? Or it could be physical. Some of us are literally in the dark, right? It could be some things that are just physically breaking down and that are ending, that may have been very abrupt. I also put out the Chariot. And we have the 8 of Swords in reverse. So as you can see, this 8 of Swords energy, he is in prison. He is, there was some comfortability here though. There was some comfortability. A lot of us were in jail and we didn't even freaking know it. Or we didn't know how deep or how long we've been in it. Because there was some comfortability. And I said this because it's been this theme of cereal in my physical reality. I told y'all my nieces are here and they love cereal. And one of my nieces, she always asks for a second bowl of cereal. And I'm like, babe, that second bowl is not going to get you full. We need to get you some food, right? I was talking to my mom today and she was like, shoot, I don't know what I'm gonna do for dinner. I'm probably gonna have some cereal. And I'm like, cereal? And mind you, I don't eat cereal today, but I had my fair share of life of eating cereal. And I know that, there is like a certain satisfaction that comes from cereal, but cereal is not fulfilling. You eat cereal and shit, it's like empty calories. Fucking 30 minutes later, you're like, I'm hungry again, right? And so that is the energy that I was picking up for the collective. Like my mom was like, shoot, you could get full off the cereal, right? You may be used to just dealing with the crumbs and the bums and just the being in this mucky, dark space and just making it work, right? Like, well, I could make it work. I could get full off of this, or I could find fulfillment in this, or it's okay. It's not that bad, head ass. And truth is like, there is this continuation of you being hungry and you wanting more, or you not even necessarily wanting more, but just wanting substance, like, bitch, where the avocados at? Where is the oatmeal? Where the motherfucking grits, bitch? Like, I need something to really settle, something that can hold me over, whatever that is for you. Okay, but with this Chariot here, this was like heavy on your ancestors have been working hard AF to free you mentally, spiritually, emotionally. A lot of us have also we had to move into this space of solitude so we can fucking hear. I was thinking about last night how y'all know I normally play the frequencies in the background and the music just went out. The frequencies went out. Welcome into all of y'all joining. If we could get the likes up, please. And thank you. That would be greatly appreciated. But last night the frequencies went out and I was like, the music don't went out, but that's cool. That's okay. And that came up again right now in this moment today when it was like, it was a message around, whatever darkness this is that you're in, whatever quiet energy that you've been in, or like your bank account been quiet, right? Maybe your phone been quiet, right? You may have been isolating yourself, or you've been isolated. You had to move to this space so you can fucking listen, man. So you can listen to the voice within, because it does feel like maybe somebody or people have been trying to help you or tell you something and it's just been going over your head. Maybe you've been resisting it, or maybe you just had a hard time really seeing it. Like, this resistance could have been unconscious or subconscious, just something that you was just naturally doing again, right? But it's like you had to be sat down. You had to be sat down in that corner for you to reflect on your actions, for you to reflect on where you are, how you got here, what you need to do, who you need to become so you can move forward. Okay, and so there's definitely this message around from the ancestors. It doesn't even feel like a second chance. I can't say this is a second go round. This literally felt like a 10th, a 15th, a 20th spin around the block. I feel like you've been here so many times before, but each time it got worser and worser and worser. It just like got bad and badder, bitch. And it took for you to bump your head so many times for you to really be so uncomfortable. Hold on. Instagram glitching, bitch. I know we going deep. Instagram, we back. Okay. But you had to get uncomfortable. It's glitching again. Hold on. Okay, are we cool? Are we here? Are we here? Instagram, it been going in and out, right? Who been going in and out? You know, when you get into the darkness, now you going in and you like, God, ancestor spirit, I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna do better. And then when you get out of that space, you go back into those old ass ways. Oh Lord, if I just get a blessing, if I just get a blessing, if I just get a blessing, if I just get a breakthrough, I just get a breakthrough. And then you get that breakthrough and now you breaking. Now you sitting back and getting too motherfucking complacent, getting comfortable, forgetting, right? So it took for us to hit our lowest to remember like, shit, I gotta keep going even when things are looking up for me. I gotta continue to get in my spiritual bag and develop myself as a person, you know, continue my healing or continue to strive to be better, you know, not just to get me out of this, but just so I can continue to be better for humanity. Remember last night I was channeling that Michael Jackson song and we was trying to figure out the name of the song and y'all dropped some titles in the comments, but I went and looked for the song later and none of y'all said the name of the actual song that I was channeling. And the song that I was channeling by Michael Jackson, because it was connected to that 8/29, because that's Michael Jackson's birthday, and we was talking about you being very influential. A lot of y'all are freaking tapped in, very powerful, and you have a big purpose. And the song I kept channeling was do, 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 da, 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 do. Denison talking about Earth Song. We were struggling. It was not the Earth Song. It was not the Earth Song. The name of that song that I was channeling last night was Will You Be There? Will You Be There by Michael Jackson. And that was, I'm like, when I saw the title of the song and I was connected to last night's message, some of y'all may want to run last night's message back. I was like, the ancestors were like, a lot of us are like, will you be there? Are you going to be there? Like, are you here? Shit. Are you here? You know, do you hear me? Hear ye, head ass. And like I shared, they're going to be coming through bearing gifts. They're going to be coming through unlocking. They're going to be coming through blessing. They're going to be coming through replenishing you as of today. But it is important, like I shared with us yesterday, that we release the expectation of exactly when, exactly how, and from which direction it's going to come from. I'm minding my business today, completely not thinking about the message that I just channeled last night. And then I looked at my notifications and I had a notification from 2 hours ago and we had freaking a whole bunch of things that were purchased from our baby shower. And I'm gonna be honest, bitch, life is lifing, okay? Life is lifing and we're doing the best we can, but there are things that we do still need. There are things that we do still need for our baby boo. So bitch, I started getting a little stressed because I'm like, okay, bitch, we could pop any day. And we it's not given. The baby is here in 2 weeks. It's not. Everybody asked where was the registry, and there were a few lovelies who dropped in and gave a little something, but everybody, what a registry had asked, and then not too many of them sent in stuff from the thing, right? So I'm like, subconsciously and consciously, bitch, I'm like low-key stressed, right? So I'm out of my business, not thinking about it today. And then I got a notification that was from 2 hours ago where one of our lovelies freaking purchased like a lot of essentials that we need. And I was like, won't he do it, bitch? And I was like, that won't nothing but the ancestors. That won't nothing but spirit. That won't nothing but God, you know, working through our community. And so to those of you, because some of y'all have sent financial donations as well. So thank y'all, because y'all have been coming through in different ways. And I have not overlooked that. But when it comes to the registry, you know, that's the physical thing that I can see. So I'm just like, bitch, you said 1 out of 100 items was purchased. And and so I want to encourage y'all. I say that to encourage y'all. I want you to reflect on today, first of all. I want you to reflect on today. Okay? And highlight the goods that happened. Highlight the goods that happened, even in the smallest ways. You may reflect on the day and be like, damn, nothing really came through like that. It wasn't this grand thing like that, you know. But I want you to be grateful for the little things. Acknowledge the little things, because trust me, you are being watched with just the little things. You ever give somebody something, let's say you really didn't have it like that. Let's say you really didn't have it like that, but you wanted to give somebody something. And so you went to the dollar store real quick, or maybe you made something, you handcrafted something, and you just wanted to, no, I am not a single mom, babe. You just wanted to, let's just say you wanted to give somebody with something from the heart. And this person is very materialistic, right? This person loves luxury or whatever. And you give them something, they're like, this it? Or you give them a card with no money, and they're like, where the money, you know? And it's like, well, damn, I really did what I could do to gift you with this, and this is like, it's not enough, or you're not appreciative of that. You know, that is the energy that you don't want to give off. Okay, and this is not, I'm not telling you to go role play either, but truly be grateful for the little things. Be grateful for the little things. And I had to shift my mindset with that too, because I was like, well, hell, the lovelies have not been purchasing directly off of the registry, but the lovelies been coming through with the fucking super chats. The lovelies been coming through with the fucking collective readings, even though we've been exchanging. The lovelies have been coming through with the damn bookings, with ordering from the website. It just look a little different. But me, my flesh is like looking at the registry like, okay, you know, I'm looking at our bills like, okay, I'm looking at the gas like, okay, and just trying to distribute it in all ways. But I'm seeing like it's flowing in just from different directions. Today at the dinner table with my niece and my daughter, we were conducting our reflections, and I asked, I led with my niece. I was like, how was your day? You know, let's talk about some good things that happened. And she shared all the good things. And she was like, we did this, I did this, da, 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 da. And I said, well, what did you learn today? And she shared what she learned. And she was talking about past stuff. And I'm like, Talia, I'm talking about today. I had to bring it back to today, right? So let's bring it back to the present moment. Let's bring it back to today. Let's bring it back to right now, shit. You know? And so then I moved to my daughter. I'm like, all right, Lay, hold on. Instagram tweaking again. Okay, we back Instagram. God, motherfucking damn, bitch. Hold on. Instagram, we got some little electrical issues, but I done disconnected the Wi-Fi, so we should be good to go. We good to go on Instagram? I know we've been tweaking. Let me know, Instagram, if we're good to go. And I'm going to scroll real quick. Elizabeth said, I feel that. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Mystique said, went to the dollar store real quick and I'm here now. Ashe. Welcome in to all of y'all. Welcome in, babes. I was just doing a little scrolly scroll while Instagram came through. Instagram, are y'all here? I asked if we clear. I see the numbers there, but okay, good to go? Good to go. I seen no dance before, but I never seen her dance like this. So I go to my daughter now, and I'm like, all right, Lay. Now tell me something. What you got? I was like, you had, tell me about, how was your day? And she's like, bad. She led with bad. Bad and good. Mind you, I already know why she wanted to say bad, because my daughter wanted to say bad because we went outside and she has like an electric little Barbie car, and Frozen head ass, thawed out head ass. Come on, say, I am thawed, bitch. I am thawed, ready to cook, ready to eat, bitch. So my niece drove the car on the way to the destination. My daughter rode her scooter on the way to the destination. So on the way back, it was only fair that they swapped off. That my daughter drove the car and my niece got her fair share of riding the scooter. So my daughter is in her fucking feelings, she a Leo, so she thinks the world fucking revolves around her. So, and she's the only child in this house at the moment. So she's low-key struggling when it comes to sharing and shit. And that could be a message for collective too. You may be so used to just worrying about you, so used to just worrying about you. And you may have, maybe people in your life who you may be called to care for or to show up for or to share something with. And this is not your time to be tight. This is your time to be not foolish and just squander everything, but share the wealth, share the love, share the smile, share the words of encouragement, whatever it is that you can share. So when my daughter led with bad, I already knew what she wanted to talk about. She wanted to talk about the fact that she had to drive the car. She's driving the car like this, crying and shit while trying to steer the wheel. Somebody had a moment, somebody was crying behind the wheel recently. I'm not sure if somebody had like a moment, a breakdown in the car recently or something like that. But she crying behind the fucking wheel, doing the most. And at this point, I left her behind me just a few feet. And I'm like, girl, boo, I'll let you, we got places to go. And that's been the ancestral energy too, where, maybe you have been just very sad, very upset just because of how things have been playing out. Maybe how people been treating you or whatever, how life been lifing, and your ancestors been like, you may have been feeling neglected because maybe your ancestors aren't sugarcoating, they aren't babying you, they aren't pacifying you, and it's like at the end of the day, that's not gonna help you. At the end of the day, we still gotta get home. At the end of the day, we still got shit to do. At the end of the day, we still gotta go to work or whatever it is. So back to the reflections, my daughter was like, my day was bad and good. I was like, well, let's start with the good. Talk about the good. Tell me about the good. And she shared something, and then she was like, but the bad, she was rushing past the good to get to the bad, and I cut her off. And I was like, well, what did you learn today? So you told me about the good. Now, what did you learn today? Nothing. Mind you, she learned things today, but she was so eager to talk about the bad that she wanted to say she learned nothing to go to what she wanted to talk about, which was complaining about the fact that she had to drive the car. So I said, I didn't ask about the bad. So if you said you didn't learn anything today, all right, go ahead and continue to eat your dinner. Maybe we'll learn something tomorrow. And that was a message for the collective that came up as I was tapping into this energy here. It's like you may be trying to find ways, or the energy could just be lingering where you're just complaining about what you had to do or what you couldn't do or what they said or and it's like, this is not a message to encourage you to ignore maybe the negatives, ignore the mishaps or the unfortunate situations that happened, but are you so eager? Like I said, she led with the bad. Are you leading with the bad? Are you so engulfed in this darkness that you're like, or so freaking selfish that you are just overlooking what you could have learned or what you're being, what lessons you can learn? Like, come on. So lead with the blessings, lead with gratitude, and be grateful for the little things. So I invite you to reflect on one thing right now. And if you feel comfortable, if you would like to, leave in the comments, what's one positive thing or one thing that you were grateful to experience, to receive, rather it was clarity, it could be a physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, whatever. What is that thing for you today? Tell me something good. We started off with that. When I first started the live, when I first hit live, I was like, tell me something good. Down. So tell me something good. Tell me something good. Because there is goodness that's happening. I don't care if you made $10. You got $10 more than you came with, than you entered the day with. Okay? Whatever that is for you. So your ancestors are like, all right, it's time to take flight. We coming to get you. But it was this energy of, it was this follow-up message where it was like, you've been here multiple times before. It's like, all right, are we done? Are we done? Electrical issues. Are you the issue? Are you the issue? You know what I mean? So our declaration that I invite you all to leave in the comments below, or you can leave some blue, yellow, and red hearts in the comments. But let's comment down. Again, I rise. Again, I rise. Y'all know these my phoenix feathers. So every time I put these on, I think of the phoenix. And this orange and blue, yellow and blue represents Savannah State. And my birth state is Savannah, Georgia. Well, Georgia is my birth state, but I'm from Savannah. And Hold on. Instagram got motherfucking down. So yeah, there was this graduation energy, right? But then I also saw the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. That's why I brought up the cereal too. Because I heard things are about to get Tony the Tiger Great head ass. And it was like the cereal, and it was like you so used to this inconsistent sweetness, right? That shit be hitting, and then they get soggy. You know, but you know, you're earning your stripes, and a lot of us have earned our stripes, and have now graduated, and we are now ascending, now rising to the occasion. And it's important that we take the wisdom, and that's why we got to reflect, slow the fuck down, listen, and connect. Die motherfucking sect, so we can apply that wisdom moving forward, so we can remember where we came from, so we can remember our purpose, so we can remember to remain humble, so we can remember, hey, I'm not exempt from karma. Okay, so I don't care where you are, this is anew for you, so you stay focused on your vision, as it is the 11th, August the 11th. That has everything to do with, and well, the 8/11 has to do with power. It has to do with success. It has to do with vision. It has to do with collective. Okay? So let's rise. Let's continue to rise. Remembering that we can fall again. But even in that fall, remember your source. And it ain't anything external. Remember your security. And it ain't anything external. There's been these YouTubers that's been showing up on my algorithm, and it's two of them that are showing up on my algorithm, and both of them had big rises that were like that, and big ass falls that were like that. Money skyrocketed, and now they back at ground zero. Okay, so this is remembering that there's an up and there's a down, right? And so when you're up, don't forget to prepare for the down, okay? Because it's not going to always be sweet tea, okay? But whatever is coming through for you is definitely going to replenish. I get my tea, and tea is very detoxifying. Though tea is very healing in many ways, it's also detoxifying. And my spirit's like, all right, enough of the detox, metaphorically speaking, because I'm still going to drink my tea. I actually had some tea today, but it was iced tea. And I ended up grabbing my coconut water, which is back in stock. It's been freaking out of stock. My favorite Whole Foods coconut water been out of stock for like a month and a half, and I've been having to drink that nasty Harmless Harvest. But yeah, you know, coconut water is very replenishing, very hydrating. So whatever this is, bitch, you going from dry SpongeBob. What was that? I'm seeing a SpongeBob episode. I don't know who it was, but y'all remember that SpongeBob episode where they was like fucking. I don't know if it was an old lady I'm seeing. But yeah, going from dry to hydrated, bitch. That's why I had to tell my niece today too. Cause she has like some skin problems and things like that. And so she just uses cortisone. And I create our butters. Like I use shea butter, mango butter, like natural organic stuff, and I whip those up for us for the family. And so I've been telling her, like, use this. And she's like, every time I tell her to use it, she's like, it's gonna make me get bumps on my face. It's gonna make my eczema flare, essentially, right? And I keep reminding her, like, this is different. Like, it's okay. You can use this. And we have no issues. And so I have to keep reminding herself, moisturize yourself with this after you get out the shower. Moisturize yourself with this after you get out the shower. So again, some of us have been taking these stories and just replaying these stories of, oh, this is going to happen, or, oh, this is going to break me out, or, oh, this is going to hurt me, or, oh, this is going to, oh, this. And it's like, what's coming through for you is organic. What's coming through for you is healing for your mind, body, soul, spirit, pockets, all of that. Okay, so this is a reminder to continue to hydrate yourself, to continue to water yourself, continue to nurture, and not just yourself, but your relationships, right? And release those old stories that are not serving anymore on this timeline. So, I'm about to pull some cards. Welcome into everybody, new and true, baby boo. So, I'm about to pull some cards. Brother Lagos is here. I'm gonna just ask if he's joining tonight, just to get an idea. He should be, because he showed up the past like 4 nights, so he due for a show tonight. Masterpiece, are you still in here? Did you ever look up your Chiron? If you are, if y'all do want a reading, it's your time to send your love offerings in. If not, we're going to enter and close out the collective reading and move forward. Are you joining tonight? Evan said, does readings gear toward specific questions? So how we do it, how we exchange here is it's $10 for one yes or no from the pendulum. So if you have a question like, will I get a job next week? That's $10, right? $20 if you have 3 specific questions. If you have a question about a situation, general, personal, general, career, love, past, present, future, those are all $15 minimum. If you want anything more in depth, that's $15 for 6 cards. If you want anything more in depth, the more you send, I'll exchange energy accordingly, and I'll use cards for that. You can ask questions like, hey, can you tap into the energy of me and Jane, right? Me and Jane's energy, or what's Jane's intentions towards me? And you can send in $15 and I'll get a 6-card pull for that. Or any other question that you have. But if you just straight up yes or no, that's 10 or 20, depending on how many questions you want. I hope that brought you clarity. The information is down below in the pinned comments if you want to send your love offerings in. But I'm going to go ahead and tap into collective, delve a little deeper into this. You've served your time. Your ancestor said you are freed from jail energy. So take it as it resonates. Like I said, this could be mental, spiritual, physical, emotional jail. And if y'all want your own, I love this, services, you can book on the website, CrystalineMars.com. But I cut the deck and we have the Hangman here. This is a card of surrendering, of ascension, of spiritual awakening, being released. But let's see what we got. Last night I had on my granddaddy's necklace. And normally I pair my granddaddy's necklace with my grandma. They're both on the other side. They transitioned like within a month. My granddaddy, it's like my grandma was waiting for my granddaddy, because she had a coma or a stroke. Not a coma. She had a stroke, and she just been slowly declining for years. And then my granddad's health took a great decline expeditiously. In a matter of like 4 months, he was gone. And she left. She transitioned like weeks after him. And so I normally pair their necklaces together, but last night, after all that granddaddy energy, I was led to just put on my grandfather's necklace. Tonight, I was called to put on my grandmother's necklace only. And so it was like, there's definitely this continuation when it comes from divine masculine and divine feminine in the spiritual realm when it comes to blessing you. Because when I put my grandma's necklace on, I heard it's my turn now. So this is energy that I'm going to be connecting with from feminine ancestral energy on the other side, deceased loved ones, whether it's your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your godmom, whatever feminine energy it is that that resonates with you most, that is them coming through with this message here. And today's Monday, which is ruled by the moon, episode 20, which is feminine energy too. So what we got here? We got the Temperance. It was in reverse, but the way I pulled it out, I flipped it up right. So this is you not having to wait much longer for something. You have achieved inner peace and tranquility with a positive perspective on life. We have the Letter. I'm sending you. And this is card number 7. Has anybody written a release letter lately? Remember last night's message was, whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever it is that you're harboring, whatever it is that you're thinking, write that shit down and burn that bitch up. That was the message of last night. And I'm just getting this again. But some of you may have been writing petitions. Somebody may create jewelry in here. May have like new nails. White candles may be significant. All black, love, silver. Gold tooth or like the gold trim may be significant as well. But with this Temperance, it's definitely like an angel. What's the damn word? Guardian angel. Guardian angel letter. I did hear a 4-page letter today by Aaliyah. We got 7 again, so 7 may be significant, but 7 of Swords. The 8 of Swords in reverse, moving down to the 7 of Swords. This is nice. So the peace that is coming in is going to free you so you can focus on what you need to focus on. Because right now, you may be focused on trying to make some ends meet or trying to do something or trying to gather something, and that's going to come through. You ready? Oh, shit. Let's fucking go. Spaghetti. Let's fucking go, bitch. The God's not into the room. I just asked, was he joining? Right? But and he said, yes, he was. And I didn't say I was ready, but obviously it's the time. And I don't have any readings in queue. So it's time for you to go. There could be some things that come in unexpectedly, like we talked about with the 497. But we got the 7 here. So like I said, whatever this is that's coming through is going to free you so you can focus on what you need to focus on. We also had the Journey card come up. This is card number 10. Yesterday was a 10. I talked about this energy here. So the 10th, there could be some energy that is returning here as well. I did pick up on this strong message of take accountability and forgive them. So I don't know who's still holding a grudge. There could have been somebody who taught you a hard lesson. And maybe you didn't want to learn it, or maybe you didn't like the delivery or something like that. And you may be holding a grudge. And this person may be coming back with this 4-page letter enclosed with a key, maybe wanting to start anew, maybe wanting to, extend an olive branch or something like that, maybe talk it out or something. And I do feel like there's definitely, even if you don't want to move forward with them, definitely work on that heart chakra energy when it comes to forgiving and seeing the purpose that they did serve. Okay, so we about to close out. Justin said, what religion is this? This is not a religion here. Or we don't preach, teach, or practice religions. We learn from religions and embrace religions, but yeah. We got the Page of Cups in reverse. The Page of Cups in reverse. So what's this Page of Cups in reverse? The Legacy. Page of Cups in reverse. Interesting. So this Page of Cups, you see this cup here. This cup here in reverse. I remember yesterday I shared with y'all, I don't know if I told y'all, but I broke a glass. I've been breaking a lot of glasses lately. Not sure if somebody has been breaking a lot of glasses. And I immediately thought about the 8 of Cups. We started maybe with like 8 cups or 9 cups that comes in a set, and we're now down to 1. Over the past year, I have broken like all them fucking glasses, and they were so thin. And so when I broke the glass, I was at the laundromat, right, washing laundry or our bedding, and when I went to go throw the glass in the trash, this lady had put a cup in the trash can and she had it upside down. So whatever drink it was leaking out of the straw. It was literally like pouring out of the straw. And that's what I see here as well. So there could definitely be this energy where maybe there were some broken aspects of you, or a breakup that happened in some way, shape, or form. And this is an opportunity for you to now pour into yourself, but also like heal this aspect. And there's going to be some energy where, because it's given like the Chiron, the wounded healer energy, where it's like your wounds and things are being triggered so you can heal and then help other people who may have the same wounds. Like, okay, this is, these are some routes that you can take, or these are some things that you can do, or this is what helped me through. So this is an opportunity for you to do the work for yourself so you can help those who are around you that may be going through the same thing now or very soon. But we have the Legacy here. Okay, so we got, you've served your time. Your ancestor said you are free from jail. We have the Legacy here. So like I said, there is definitely this wealth of knowledge, information, resources, finances, and things that are coming through for you. We have the Queen of Wands. So this has to do with this 8 Leo energy that we're in. But you definitely need to own your position, right? And walk it like you talk it, essentially. Walk it like you talk it. You want to be treated with respect. You talk about how valuable you are, how much of the table you are, how worthy you are. Show up as that. Show up as that. Show up as that. Because as you can see, the handouts, that handout season is over. So it's time. How can you take lead and actually create consciously, co-create? It's more so about co-creation I'm getting to. You know, because maybe you've been just doing it by yourself and it's one way that wasn't working anymore. Okay, so let's come together and be open to the flow that is coming in for you. We do have the ancestor card here too, confirming this ancestral energy. So I do want to close out with an OG card and then we done. We got full moon. We got the full moon. Today, wait, 1, 2, 3. Tomorrow closes out the full moon shadow period. So there's definitely this full circle. And we have foster home shelter, which has to do with like abandoning energy. So let the past be the past, learn from it and use it. Use the wisdom gained, like I said, so you can move forward in alignment with your vision, the vision of your highest self with this 11 energy. So our declaration is going to be, let's see. You said you've been breaking glass too? Ashe. What's our declaration? Hold on. I easily release anything that is holding me back. I easily release anything that is holding me back. I easily release anything that is holding me back. Every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back, What keeps pulling you back? And if it's pulling you back, then fall back on that, lean into that, reflect on that, and move forward. So thank y'all for sharing this space, y'all. I easily release anything that is holding me back. Ashe, Brother Lagos has entered the room. Like I said, he is ready to share with us our spiritual lesson. So y'all drop some white hearts down below as well so we can synchronize and alchemize with this beautiful divine energy. Graffiti says, shout out to Lagos for showing up tonight. We haven't had a lesson in over a week. Graffiti, you like me. I ain't even counting, but it's been like 7 days or 8. Ashe. So again, thank y'all for sharing this space. Head over to the website, CrystalineMars.com, and book your personal services with myself, Brother Lagos. He does offer spiritual guidance, spiritual clearings, readings, and things like that as I do on the live. So if you would like to, his information is down below in the description box in the pinned comments as well. If y'all want to send him some love and get some guidance. But I will see y'all in the comments and enjoy the rest of your evening, day, morning, whatever time it is you're on your way. Peace and love to you. Nakupenda. Ashe. All right. You gonna be sitting there or you coming over here? I was wondering if you rotate the camera. Okay.
Peace, family.
Grace.
Today's spiritual lesson. Today's spiritual lesson is on this Lion's Gate. So whenever you have ones, the 11s, this is the 11th hour, right? The 11th day of the month. 11 is the king vision, right? It's also 2 ones, 2 lions, right? So that's like a form of a lion's gate. Ashe. And we have these same lion's gates in our faces. We have the 2 ones, meaning the 2 eyes right here. So that's why it's the king vision, because with the 2 ones, the 2 eyes together, you then they then come together to create what we call the third eye, which is not an actual eye, it's a spiritual eye, right? So these 2 ones that come together create this spiritual eye, and that is your lion's gate, right, being opened. Ashe. So with that being the case, it just so happens to be an 8-11. I didn't plan on doing this because it was 8-11, but I happened to see it. It made perfect sense why, the ancestors or the higher self brought me into this direction. The 2 sons, right? The 2 sons. I was contemplating this for some time, trying to really understand, waiting for, some other vibration of myself or some intuition to give me this. I'm waiting for the download on what is the soul, or have a clear understanding of the soul, because I understand that both the sun is the soul, but I know that we have a soul, or at least that's what we believe, right? So I was trying to really navigate, well, which soul is it? Which soul? Where's the real soul at? And then it came to me, it dawned on me, oh, we have two souls. We have two souls, right? Just how our solar system has two suns. Now, commercially, we believe there's only one sun, right? Spiritually, it is told that we have, and metaphysically, it's told we have two suns, right? Now, that may be true or not true, but on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, I know it's true just because the idea, the concept is out there, right? There's the sun that we see, and then there's the hidden sun. Now, they say, the rumor is that there's another sun behind the sun that we see, right? Perfectly hidden, which could make a lot of sense because the moon is perfectly facing us all the time. We never see the other side of the moon. The moon is in a perfect position to eclipse the sun, right? So there's a lot of weird things going on with the moon that don't make any sense on how perfect it is. So then it would actually make a lot of sense that, well, there's a sun that could be perfectly hidden behind the sun that we see. And the sun in the front is supposed to be the electric sun, which makes sense. It charges us, it charges our stones, it charges our solar panels, it charges our bodies. It charges every living thing on this here planet, right? And then there's the magnetic sun, is what they call the hidden sun, the magnetic one behind it, right? Which would make sense because in order to have these rotations that we have in our solar system and around the galaxies, you need electromagnetic pulses in order to create these rotations of planets, as well as the spinning of these planets and stars, right? You need all these things. So it's electromagnetism. So you need electric sun, you need a magnetic sun. It makes sense. So then I thought about that concept. I'm like, okay. Now this magnetic sun may be there, may not be there. It may be there in a hidden vibrational plane, right? Or it may be there in some other type of way that we're not seeing or thinking, or And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, that is the hidden soul that we have. That is the hidden sun that we have, right? So we have the soul that we receive a certain charge from outside the earth, but then we have the soul, the within soul. I mean, we all would agree, no matter what religion you are, we'd all agree, yeah, we have a soul. Well, what is that soul? What is it made of? What does it do? What is its properties, its behavior? I believe that soul is the magnetic soul. We are receiving this electric charge from the outer soul, being the sun, and then our inner soul is the magnetism. It is the magnetism, right? And maybe that magnetism, its purpose might be to attract the charge, right? That magnetism of our inner soul in combination with the electricity of the outer soul may be what is necessary or needed in order to create our own electromagnetic sphere that we each have, right? That allows us to create our own dome that keeps our physical body together, so that our atoms, electrons, protons, neutrons, those, it doesn't just go flying across the cosmos, but actually stays together. There has to be some sort of magnetic behavior that's happening. So that's the conclusion that I've come to, that we have these two souls. And with that being said, the next question is, okay, with this knowledge, with this information, what do we do with these two souls? What only makes sense would be to combine them, right? To use them both, to absorb more electrical charge, right, from the outer soul, but combine it or attach it to the inner soul. Bring more, master more the magnetism of the inner soul in order to maintain this constant balance, this constant charge, so that we can live in a state of what we may call the fifth dimensional body, or we may say transcendence, right? But essentially the fifth dimensional body, which would look something like, if you need a visual, it would look something like a Dr. Manhattan, from the comic books, from the Watchmen, right? So that is today's, and you can look at it as well as in animes or like Dragon Ball Z or anything like that, right? It is or better yet, Superman. Better yet, Superman. Right? Absorbing the sun. But you can only absorb if you can attract. Right? You can only absorb if you can attract. Right? And which sun can he attract? Does he attract? Because he doesn't attract from the red sun. The red sun actually takes his powers away. It is the yellow sun. He's talking about the yellow chakra. We're talking about, when we think about the yellow chakra, we think about the solar plex. We're thinking about the soul. We're thinking about the soul, the magnetic soul. So it's the reason why he can absorb the yellow sun that we have in these comic books is because our magnetic sun is what is in congruence with the yellow sun outside of us. Our magnetic absorbs or pulls in the electric sun. Ashe. So that's today's spiritual lesson. Shout out to everybody, all the OGs on IGs, all the YouTubers, all of the TikTokers. We appreciate all the likes, shares, and subscribes, all the love offerings. Ashe. I do know, what is it? Masterpiece Empress. I know she wanted me to go over like the retrograde. The Chiron, right? Or the Chiron, or however you pronounce it. I think it's Chiron from what Madame Dublé was saying, or told me. Or maybe that's how she's heard it. Chiron. So, peace to Mystique Melanin, peace to Graffiti, to Maria. Maria says, you have visions. Yeah, I have visions, A lot of people have visions, to tell you the truth, but yeah. Read tarot, I do read some tarot. My counterpart, Madame Dublé, she does it more often than I do nowadays, but I do still dabble in it from time to time. Rashe, glad to have you with us for your first time. Peace to MZT Walker, or Miss T Walker. I saw something. Hear me, Odin, all father. Okay, shout outs to Odin and to the Nordics, right? Ashe to the Nordics. I saw somebody said something about Jesus, but then I see they took him off I don't know. Or maybe they retracted it. I don't know. Jesus, okay, that was Caden, okay. It was just, it's all about love. Ashe to that. Peace to Sidon Films. I know, but I wanted to ask if Masterpiece Empress is in the building. If she, what does she know her? Because it makes it, it's more, it'll be more effective for you if you're able to, if you know what your Chiron is. or Chiron. You know what your Chiron is, right? And if you don't know, then if you just, send me your birthday, then, we can, and the time of your birth and location, then we can look it up real quick, figure out what that Chiron is. But essentially, when it comes to, when we're talking about the Chirons, and so, I can more accurately do like the whole reading thing, knowing what your Chiron is, the masterpiece. But when it comes to Chiron retrogrades, the best way to think about that is, see, Chiron, your Chiron represents the energy that heals you as well as the energy that hurts you. So for instance, my Chiron is in Cancer. So then when it comes to Cancer, that's relationships. That can be romantic relationships, family ships, parents, siblings, cousins, friends, close friends, right? Those energies, give me the most healing when I'm experiencing them in a positive aspect. They bring me the most healing, right? But those same aspects have the biggest detriment to my health, spiritual, physical, or whatever health. It can also tie into emotions. Emotions can be how I express or how I deal or how I'm able to manage my emotions, or what emotion can be very healing to me or be very detrimental to me, right? Then we look at other things like my moon is in Cancer, right? So I have to be very mindful about, when I'm, triggered, when I get triggered emotionally, because those triggers can be twice as triggering because it's in my Cancer and it's in my Chiron at the same time, right? So what hurts emotionally hurts, double for me. What feels good to me emotionally feels the double as well, right? So it just so happens to be, for myself. So then when you're looking at, okay, good for you guys, Chiron Cancer as well, Ashe. Ashe the cringe-worthy. So when it comes to your Chiron, when it's in retrograde, well then that's when it's in retrograde, retrogrades a lot of times are about digging up the past, right? So digging back energies, it can be that, right? Or it can be a sort of a blockage or a challenge with dealing with that particular energies that are retrograde. For instance, like, said it's in retrograde in Aries at the same time, Ashe. So, right, now, when things are in retrograde, they can be magnified on a negative side or they can be magnified on a positive side, right? The most important thing for us to do during retrogrades is to become very, very accepting. Very accepting. When we try to fight the retrogrades, that's when that's when they push on us harder, right? So, for instance, when there's Mercury retrogrades, okay, a lot of times that deals with communications, deals with electronic issues, deals with, it could be, you know, writer's block, right? Things, you know, all those type of things, right? Things dealing with communication, with the verbal or written, issues with electronics, even issues with like cars as well, or anything that's, you know, robotic, right? So then it's important during those times to not get caught up in the why we're not seeing eye to eye, the why the communication is not clear, the why my phone is not uploading or downloading, the why the TV is having issues, the why the car is doing weird stuff, the why, right? If you get caught up too much in the why, right? And a lot of times those retrograde experiences that we have are usually, it's always usually tied to the negative aspects, are usually tied to something that we've had issues with in the past, recent past, distant past. But like, it brings up old arguments, old communications, old issues that are not being, or situations that are not, you know, where emails aren't getting through for certain things and whatnot, right? Old things. So it's good to just go into a state of acceptance. Just accept that, hey, old things are going to come back, and even some new things are going to come into the mix that are going to be, you know, going to feel off balance or imbalanced, right? It's important to already have the mindset of just accepting it. Just accepting that this type of things just happen, right? And it'll come, it'll show, you accept it, and it just kind of just flushes right out. It just keeps on going. It just moves along. If you accept the vibration, it has to continue to flush itself out into the other side of the vibration. Which would be what we would typically think of as a positive side. So same thing when it comes to your Chiron, right? You know, so yeah, there's going to be challenges and things that are irritating or annoying, you know, for me when it comes to that Cancer side of things. But the important thing is to just accept it. Now, acceptance doesn't mean that you don't get mad, or that you don't get sad, or that you don't feel anything negative. No, any type of what we call negative emotion. No, because these emotions are important, just as important as the positive one. It just means that you don't harp on it. You don't get stuck on it, right? And you don't let yourself become, you don't just get triggered just to get triggered, right? That's one thing. Sometimes you do need to let certain emotions out in order to protect yourself or to protect others. You need to express certain things in order for protection, right? In order to create a certain level of a certain state of boundaries, right? So there are certain times to do that, right? Or to feel certain negative emotions, to really understand other levels of yourself or just other levels of the universe, right? But you don't want to stay there. You don't want to stay there, right? And you want to do your best really to try to, soon as you feel certain things or think of certain things that are triggering you, then you want to try to immediately try to understand that trigger. Just try to understand it instead of trying to battle against it or blame the person or the situation for why you are feeling triggered, right? If you're stuck in a place of blame, then the trigger is going to continue, the situation is going to continue, and the retrograde feeling is going to continue. Right? And people end up getting caught up in this retrograde overflow until the retrograde, ends and finishes, and that's not what you want to do. Right? So I'll share to that. And then you got retrograde being in Aries, right? So then it's really with the Chiron being in Aries, which means that well, number one, this affects the whole planet. So for everybody, including even governments, battle, competition, war is going to be both devastating and also healing and create some sort of a build and it's going to be built. Things are going to be built upon that same fiery competition and battle line. So it's definitely an interesting time, and we can already see, if you're paying attention to the political arena, it is an interesting time right now. It is an interesting time. Sure. And then on top of that, in combination with it just being in retrograde, in general, your own retrograde, you have to be, like if it's in Cancer, well, then you want to be mindful of old relationships or even be the current relationship, or old situations or conversations, or can come back up, stuff like that. So you want to already be in a state of acceptance and letting it flow in, through you, and out of you ahead of time. See, Jack McKnight says, how does the position of the planets and or stars affect human personality? They don't. That is the most straight and direct way to answer that. Planets, and I've explained this before, but it's been a little while. Planets and stars and all those things, they do not affect our personality in any type of way. Right? The reason why we use them in describing our personalities and our behaviors and what's happening in the world, or even on an individual level, is because they represent time. Okay. So for instance, the fact that summer does not make it hot. Spring does not make flowers bloom. The fall does not make it rain. Winter does not make it cold. Those are merely descriptions of what time it is of the year. And based off the time, you understand these are the behaviors that the planet is going to express. If it's noon doesn't make the sun come up. Noon just tells you that the sun is at the highest point in the sky. Midnight does not make the sun go down. Midnight is just a description of when that the sun's going to be completely down at that time. You're in the middle of the night, right? So when we think about planets, and we're talking about personalities, and we're combining the two to use planets to describe and constellations to describe personalities and experiences, right? We're actually not. I don't think a lot of people who describe and use the planets, I don't think actually know this. They actually think that the planets are doing something to us. They're not doing anything to us. They are merely just describing the time. Those are just cosmic clocks. And there are certain indigenous and ancient cultures that knew that, and they studied the cosmic clock. And the cosmic clock just told them what time it was cosmically on the earth. And they knew that, okay, this is what's going to happen because of the clock. We're just reading a clock. So if you're born on a certain day, you were born on that clock. And people born at that time on that clock are going to exhibit these certain types of personality traits because of the time that they were born, based off of the clock. It's not the planets didn't make them that way. The planets just telling us what you're going to bring personality-wise because of the time. That means that's what time you're running on. That person you're born on that particular day, you're running on this time. So that's, I hope that was clear. I hope that was clear. William says endless resources are put to underground cities and technologies. I go as far as to say that there are levels below our film. Well, yeah, there are underground cities. They're pretty open about that. So, yeah. Planets and stars appear as holes in every telescope. The suns and moons and our own lights look like portals, holes like, okay, I say. NASA says the sun is 93 million miles away. Okay. Can anyone fathom how far that is? The sun is right there. It's local light. Okay. The Egyptians saw the same constellation thousands of years ago. We ain't moving for motion millions of miles per hour. Now it says it's not possible. Okay. Well, William, he's talking about the how a lot of the sciences and commercially taught science information isn't accurate, or is just a complete, farce, or just, complete lie, which, I would say is true. I would say is true. I would say that, some of it's a lie, some of it's true. It's probably, and to tell you, and honestly, it's probably all like, it's really just a mixture of lies and truths. So it's hard to tell, what is what. It's hard to tell really what is what. So I try to look at it from typically a standpoint where, from what perspective or in what way could it be true, and from what perspective and what way could it be false, right? And I usually try to go, that route. It's unfortunate, Andrew, Letty. William says, I believe they have technology that can go there, but not on rockets. Man, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. But there's a lot of different possibilities, a lot of things that I've taken into consideration of all different types of things I've heard, that I've seen, that I've experienced, that it's so I keep an open mind to it all, really. Open mind to it all. Ashe. Well, it looks like I've gotten note to everybody. I didn't see Masterpiece Empress. Ashe. So we'll go ahead and say Ashe Asantin Amen. Amen. Kamalika, it is done. Kristen Weldon says we are not alone. Well, we're not alone. I mean, there's 7 billion of us on this planet, right? 7 billion of us on this planet. You know, as far as are there other, you know, humans or intelligent lives, you know, or other things that are maybe not human or are future human, or you know, some other sort of humanoid beings of a slightly different species or completely different species that are just as intelligent or more intelligent than us, you know. Is that true? I mean, it may be true. It may not be true. And I like to say really both are true. At least at this point, both are true. They both exist and don't exist. They both exist and don't exist. They don't exist because we are not, on a mass level, at least interacting with them. We do know that on a mass level we are not interacting with them or working with them, so they don't exist. At the same time, they do exist because we have so many documentations, so many recordings of their existence, piece of tunikin, right? Of their existence. Now, whether that's really them or not, you know, who knows? But the fact that, you know, we believe it is enough. Just believing it is enough, which means that they exist, at least to us. At least to us, at least to some of us, they, you know, these other beings, they do exist, right? So therefore, they both exist and don't exist, right? The best thing we can do until, well, really, we have two options. You know, evolve to the point to where, and transcend to the point to where, if they really do truly exist, we will see them, we will interact with them. There's no way that they cannot be detected by us, right? Which means we will know for sure. You know, the other option is to just not worry about it. Just totally be unconcerned about it because even if they do exist, they're not playing a significant of enough of a role in our everyday lives for us for it to even matter, right? So whichever route you decide to go down, you know, I leave it up to you. But I would recommend not going down the middle route because it could tend to, you know, overburden the mind. It leaves sometimes too many questions and too many arguments and too many back and forths. I said, Prometheus says, Grand Canyon electrified by lightning. Ashe to the Grand Canyon. Christian says, I'm kind of human. Ashe. Ashe to the Ascend. Carbon to Diamond. William says, it seems to me they have control of the most nature of humanity, or evolved, I'm not sure what you mean. Or evil, maybe that's what you're trying to say. Most evil nature of humanity in a direct way. You know, maybe, I don't know. I don't know, right? And I say I don't know because, you know, one, I don't know your experience of this matrix. I don't know how you're experiencing this matrix. But based on how I'm experiencing this matrix, it's so wacky right now for me. To the point that I cannot really pinpoint what's really going on. But I can pinpoint all the things that don't add up. But as far as what's really going on, you know, I can't pinpoint it because nothing is not acting. It's like an algorithm. I can see the algorithm in different ways. I can see the algorithm shifting and changing. In some ways, it seems to confirm my thoughts, but in other ways, it's like it's trying to destroy certain thoughts. So it gets weird, it gets tricky. Shay to Masterpiece Empress. I mean, I'm actually about to get off. I already explained the whole Chiron thing. So, and I do have some other things I do need to do, Masterpiece. Sorry about that, but I did explain about the Chiron and about the whole what the retrograde thing is. But what I want you to do, Masterpiece, is either DM me at Gypsy Calhoun, or you can DM this Crystaline Mars. That'll probably be easier. I want you to DM us your birthday and the time of birth and the location. Cause I want to look it up what your Chiron is, so I can make an even more accurate assessment. And then, I'll be ready to do that for you tomorrow. So I can combine it with the current Chiron retrograde with your actual Chiron, and then we can get some good understanding. Prometheus says perfect mind and heart coherence helps one to ascend. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, essentially, right? That's what you would, how you would look at it. The time, I don't know. I think it is pretty essential for the Chiron, knowing the time. You don't have to know the exact time, but if you can give me is it like 6 a.m.? Is it closer to 6 a.m. or 12 p.m. or 6 p.m. or midnight? Like if you can give me one of those times, that would be very useful, because I don't think I can look up the Chiron without the time. Christian says, stop using your mind, feel with your spirit, use discernment. Your understanding will never understand. There's some contradictions in what you're saying, though, Christian. You're saying don't use your mind. Mind is everything. So to say not to use the mind, that's kind of like an oxymoron, unfortunately. Your spirit is limited. You have your soul, which has a lot bigger of an apparatus. Your spirit is a limited portion of the soul. It's a limited expression of the soul. So even to use the spirit, right, it's and you can't really use pure spirit because you're in this physical body. And if you want to go further into using more of the spirit, you actually have to activate more of the body. So there are some issues with your statement. I understand where you're trying to come from. And to say to use discernment, okay, discernment is the ability to judge, which would require logical thinking. It requires, I think when you said mind, you probably were meaning brain, but it requires mind, it requires brain, it requires you discern. To discern means that you're going to look at something, analyze it, break it down, and then choose what's the best course of action, right? That's what discernment, it's an ability, it's a judgment ability. It's ability to judge properly. So in order to judge, you have to understand things, right? Now, this is probably not what you meant, but those are the words you used. So based off of these words, your statement kind of it kind of like fumbles with itself, kind of clashes with itself, right? You know, but we're in physical bodies for a reason. And it's just like if you understand like the stories of like Jesus or Buddha or any other type of enlightened being. These enlightened beings don't reach their full enlightenment and ascendance and transcendence by feeling with their spirit. Right? They go through training. They go through a process of breath work, of exercise, of learning, of studying, of manipulating energy, right? And in that way, through all of these processes, they come to a greater understanding and understanding and overstanding, right? So I wouldn't agree with that understanding will never understand. I don't agree with that at all, but, you know, I say. Masterpiece, I'll just do it general, it's fine. I say. So free will causes roadblocks. There is no free will in my personal opinion, but that's just me. I guess I gotta go back to that eventually one of these days. Stop using your mind. Oh, you already read that. If I were to attack Earth, I would live underground with all my stolen technology. Mind is consciousness. Okay. Body 12 constellations around the Holy Spirit. Soul 7 chakra planet system. Divine feminine masculine. One spirit God. Says the spirit discerns better than your mind. I guess it depends on how you look at it, because I would say that the spirit only exists because of the mind. All this mind. I don't know if you ever heard that saying, so. Consciousness of the universe. So I guess your path is way easier than yours was, I guess. I don't know. I don't know your path. So this Sagar Roy, I'm from India. Your girlfriend got attacked by black magic by my mother in a low. Now we are a backup situation. Please tell me any remedy for reunion. Well, that's it's a simple process. You just got to break some spiritual contracts when it comes to that. It's simple to say that, it might, and it's kind of simple to do, but it's not really, I guess. I couldn't explain it. You can break the spiritual contract either through meditation or through ritual, right? So you probably would need help with the ritual part. So I would recommend you reach out to us and DM us, and then we could assist you more with that. But there's a couple. There's some steps to it, and also some like information that we need to know to be more helpful. So like your voice can be manipulated, so can your mind. Well, everything can be manipulated, including your spirit, including your soul can be manipulated. Everything can be manipulated. Everything can be manipulated. William says to relieve black magic, you can use feathers to ward off evil energy. Pray that God will protect you. I mean, you can. Those are some. You can use feathers. You can pray. Right? Will it work? I don't know. Has it worked? It has. It just depends on the strength of the magic. It really does. Sometimes it's light magic, you can easily get rid of it. Sometimes it's kind of strong, you got to put more effort into it. Sometimes it's really strong, you got to put a whole lot into it. Sometimes it's fate, it's destiny, and you can't remove it at all. Those things happen too. Raven, do you give readings? I do. William says prayer. Okay. Hopefully though, but I still would like for Masterpiece to still DM us her birthday. Let's see, the path I took, one word is all you need to clear that out. All right. Well, I think, when people give advice about like spiritual matters, this is like one of the issues I have with religious people or spiritual people. It doesn't matter which one. Spiritual people and religious people tend to believe that their way, however they get dealt with something, whatever their technique was, their strategy was, they give that to everybody and say, like, this is the way you have to, this is the only way it can be done. This is what I did. It worked, so it'll work for you. And that doesn't make, it's just not true though for everybody. We can't say that everyone's different, but then when it comes to like spiritual matters, though, there's only one way to do it. It's not true. That's not true at all, right? God, we can, even if you're like a Christian person, read the Bible. Everyone didn't do the same thing. God didn't require the same, just pray, say, and I'll just do it. He didn't say that. Just pray and it's done. And if he did say that, which I don't think he did, he definitely doesn't practice that. Just to be honest, he don't practice that, right? And if he's going to do it, he's going to do it on his time, if that's the case, right? So, but sometimes the spirit, the ancestors, God, whoever, requires different things from different people at different times, right? Therefore, that's why I don't say like, just do this and it's going to be done with. I'm like, no, here's some things you can try. It may work, it may not work. You might have to put more energy into it. I've done things where sometimes to get rid of something, I can do something light and it goes away. Sometimes it's stronger than that. I have to put more energy into it. Sometimes I have to put a whole ritual just to get rid of something, right? And then there's some times where I realize that I can't really get rid of this because it's supposed to be there. Did you know that? Like even if you want to go the whole Christian route or Islam route, it doesn't really matter. God still puts certain experiences there for a reason, where no matter how many prayers or Hail Marys or rituals or feathers or sacrifices you do, you just can't move it. Because some things are just destined. So where you came from, right, Kristen? You know, where you came from. Well, that's where you came from. Not everyone's come from the same place, right? This is why we try to study and learn from where everybody comes from, especially in this day and time, because we're an integrated world now. So there's energies and spiritual practices and concepts coming from all different parts of the world with different types of spirits, different types of energy, different types of traditions, right? And to think that, okay, well, this is how we do things here, well, the way you do things here works for the spirits that are there. Y'all haven't dealt with the spirits in this other country or in this other state or in this other, place, right? We just assume that, well, if it works for me here, it's going to work no matter who I'm dealing with. It's going to work for everybody else. That's not how the spirit works. Obviously, that's not how God works. That's why there's so many different religions. Even in Christianity, there's like 1,000 denominations, or at least over 100, right? So that being said, that's why it's so important to try to study and understand all of the different. It's like practicing medicine. You're just trying to learn one way to practice medicine. And you're not going to go outside of, this is how we do it. This is how you cure this. This is how you deal with that. This is how you treat this. There is no other way. And that's what gets people stuck. And that's what gets people like, okay, I took this and healed from this, therefore it'll work for you. The way I got sick might not be the same way that person got sick. It may not be the same reason that person got sick. Or that person might be allergic to certain things that you took. Or that person might be missing certain minerals that you already have, and that's why it's working for you and not for them. There's like so many layers to this, right? This is why I don't just give necessarily just flat out answers like just do this and it's going to work, because that's not necessarily true, no matter how good the technique is. Well, Kristen, then, once again, you're trying to force your perception upon me instead of trying to understand my perception. Saying we all do, we are this, we are that, instead of saying, okay, that's how you see it, I understand. I see it differently, we see things differently. Maybe I'll hear some more into how I see it. I'm going to try to continue to understand how you see it. See, I'm not trying to tell you to think, to go in this direction with me, saying this is how you deal with something, this is how you know. Instead, I'm saying that, hey, There's more than just the way that you see, right? There's more than just the way that you see. Right? And it's, though, you know, I don't think you meant anything negative by it, but understand this is why. This is a prime example of why there's so much infighting on this planet, whether it be within families, whether it be within teams and groups, whether it be within cities, whether it be within states, whether it be within countries, whether it be within continents, right? There's so much infighting because even though the other group or the other person, they might have good intentions, but they're fighting so hard to say like no, my way of perception, this is the best way. You just don't see it. This is the best way. And that's why there's so much, so many arguments going on across the world on every level, from the day-to-day level of families to the highest level in politics. We all so badly want to be right, not in the way where we're all trying to find out what's right, but we also badly want for our perception and our belief and your particular individual, you know, concepts to be the correct one. Instead, we should all be looking for what is the correct perception. Because to believe that you have the correct perception right now in its complete totality would put you in a space that you have perfected, you know, self. And that's which I'm not saying that you haven't. Maybe you have, but that's a very big statement to make amongst such a large group of us who are still trying to perfect self. So what group do you choose? I choose the group of us all. So I don't make rules. I surrender to my destiny. You should surrender to your destiny. You should. That's perfectly fine. And it is connected to all of us. I mean, I can't disagree with that. Hell's the heel, road descension 33 vertebrae, Ashe. Well, apparently I have gotten there, according to Kristen Weldon. I don't know where I've gotten in her perception, but I think I've gotten there. Well, I'm getting close. Whatever that is, that however she's measuring it, I don't know how she's measuring it, but I should. You know, it's always a good thing. Satan is another name for Saturn. They are very, very related. Satan and Saturn definitely related. Collective wise counsel through communication, reasoning will eventually land us on the right plot. I'll share to that. I don't like the Saturnalia cult of Lucifer. I mean, I can understand that. Will you do a reading for my situation ship, says Liza? I would, but I'm about to head out though. Well, your voice is steadier. That's great. My voice is steadier, you know, so that sounds like a good thing. More grounded, Ashe. Right, it was actually, I was trying to, I did have a little voice inflection. I did feel my throat chakra a little, making some adjustments earlier. So Ashe to that. I did perceive that as well. She says, "Oh, you're welcome, Ashe. I appreciate your assistance." So we'll go ahead and say Ashe, Asante, and Amen. Amen, Kamalika, it is done. And peace to Dennis, his back, and we will see you all tomorrow. Ashe.